These three for last. But yeah, first I will do... It's not going to be ordered at first, obviously. So Jack, I think Jack is severely underrated still. He was very strong and super underrated before some of the nerfs happened in Season 3, the latest patches anyway. But Jack is super underrated. He's a very strong character. I'm not too sure what will be S+, maybe I'll change it later, but I'll put S+ so far because he is very strong. He's very good. Jin is also very good, but I'm not too sure if I would put him S+ anymore. Like, the reason Jin players dropped Jin is because he basically got from top 5 to maybe top 10. Maybe, right? Maybe top 15. Because Jin players did Jin to be absolutely busted to main him. Fake Jin mains. So yeah, maybe an S so far. I will try to explain each character later. For now, I have to decide on their placements. They killed Jin, definitely. Hello. Yeah, June, I'm not quite sure because there were some nerfs. I'm not too sure if she's still S+, because she definitely used to be. For now, let's put her at S. King, I think, is still S+. Lars, most likely S. Most likely S. I mean, Lars is still really good, don't get me wrong. But most likely S. Law, I think, is still S+ tier, still very strong. Unless they nerf Slide, this character is not gonna come off S+ tier. Paul, most likely yes. Nina is S+, I don't even need to think about this. Xiaoyu is also an S tier, Asuka is S tier as well. Leroy, I think S tier. What the fuck is A+ tier? A tier I have to remove, 100%. I don't think there's anyone at A tier. Lili... S+ tier or S tier? I feel like she's like in the border of these two. Okay, for now it's S+. Shaheen, I actually think Shaheen is very underrated. Hwoarang is S tier 100%. Claudio... I'm actually not sure about Claudio. Most likely at the bottom of S+ or at the peak of S. Let's do S so far. I put Dragunov in the lowest tier for a moment so I can make a screenshot for Twitter. I got you. You're welcome. I got you. I got you, Premium. I know the Dragunov players like you are pieces of shit. I know that you're pieces of shit and you want to farm clout like this, so I got you, bro. I got you. Azucena. Yeah, Azucena is very underrated in my opinion. Most likely at the bottom of S+. Most likely. I'll see. Maybe I'll change it. Raven is severely underrated too, but at the top of S, I doubt he is S+. Leo, crazy character, I'm gonna be honest, but you just never see Leo. You never see Leo. Okay, I'll put him in S+ for now. Fuck with the reform. Shaheen, also very underrated. I think at least S tier. Same as Steve. Yoshi is S+ tier, I don't even doubt this. Feng, I think, is also very strong, especially in Season 3. I might put him in S+ tier later. So far, I'll just put him here, but he might be S+ tier. Yeah, Alisa's 100% here, Lee's 100% here, Zafina, I think, is 100% here. We have too many S+ characters, bro. What is this? Do I want to add the tier? Bryan's also here. I think Reina is here. Eddy is 100% here. Good tiers, bro. I don't know who's A+ at this point. Like, bro, I don't know anymore. True. You're right. Kazuya and Deviljin. You're right. Like, I think everyone's either S+ or S. Take screenshot. Yeah, guys, now you can share. Wait. Now you can share. Now we can screenshot the share. But yeah, I'm actually not sure. Oh yeah, wait, I have to think about this. This is gonna be for Kunimitsu, because I'm not actually certain about Kuni, but I think Kunimitsu is gonna be top 10-ish. Top 10-ish. S plus character, I think. Yeah, but top 10-ish. I will still have to think about this. I'm not quite sure about it. I'm still not quite sure. Okay, let me just try to think about this list. I don't think Devil Jin or Kazuya deserves A+ either. I might have to remove A+. This is just insane season to be in, let me tell you that. Like, the outliers of this patch aren't as high, but holy hell, man, some characters are just way too much. They're like way too much. Yeah, I really don't know. Kazuya is S+? No, Kazuya is not S+. Just because Kazuya is doing well because of Keisuke, he's not S+. It's like saying, I don't know, Feng is S+. I might think about that, just because Mulgold is doing well. Or Claudio is S+, just because Mulgold is doing well. Right? That's not the case. It's the same with Steve. Just because Numan's doing well with Steve sometimes doesn't make him an S+ character. It's just not how it works. Or Heihachi S+, just because Kudans was doing well with him. Or Hwoarang S+ character, let's say in Season 2, because Edge was doing well with him. That's not the way to do it. Or even, yeah, Fahkumram, because Rangchu is doing well with him. Alright. Let me think about this. Raven, Devil Jin, Miary, no. Bro, Raven definitely not. Raven definitely not. Devil Jin I might consider. Miary also definitely not. But even Devil Jin doesn't deserve A+. I don't think anyone deserves A+. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Again, Grand Finals every major is different. I mean, you could say the same for some other characters. Like, Matsuba was doing really well with Feng too. He got like 3rd place and 2nd place on the last 2 very big tournaments. That does not make Feng S+. For example. Or someone like AK doing really well as well with Shaheen. He always gets top 10 with Shaheen. Not top 10, top 8. Or top 4 sometimes as well. Doesn't make Shaheen S+. Yeah, let me think about this for a little bit. So I'm pretty sure S+, I can't really change anything about this. I can't really put anyone down from here. Like, all the characters here need to be S+. Like, they need to be S+. The only one I'm considering dropping down is maybe either Leo, Azucena, or AK. Maybe, right? Even those are very maybes. But I don't think so. I really don't think so. Like, out of all of them, AK is the one I'm considering the most, but even then, I don't think so. Raven, the most OP character ever. I think Raven is one of the most slept on characters. Very slept on. Very, very slept on. Why is AK S+? Yeah, I'm thinking about that as well. As I said, I'm considering dropping him down to S. Maybe. But he just has so many good tools. He's just a very complete character. He is hard to play. If I consider hard to play as well, I will 100% drop him down. Because he is not a Zafina. Definitely not a Zafina. Or an Eddy. Definitely not. He's not yeah, but that's the same with some other characters as well. He's definitely not as BS, but he can still be BS. Okay, let me just go over this, right? Jack 100% deserves it. There's no question about it. You can't convince me otherwise. King is the same. Law, you can make some arguments because of the nerfs, but I still think he's very, very strong. Nina can't convince me. Lili, you actually can convince me, maybe, but it's fine. Victor deserves this spot. Azucena deserves this spot. Leo, Maybe you can convince me, but I think mostly deserves the spot. Yoshi 100%, Alisa 100%, Lee 100%. Zafina also, I don't know how, I don't care how many people say that Zafina is not good. I really don't care. Bryan deserves it, Eddy deserves it, Lidia 100% still deserves it. AK, you can convince me, Dragunov 100% deserves it. So the ones that I'm a little bit iffy about is Lili, I guess. Lili, Leo, Armor King, and maybe a little bit Azucena as well. A little bit, but I think she deserves it though. I really do. Ulsan said Jack was top 3 in Season 2 and everyone got mad at him. I actually thought Jack was very strong even in the previous seasons. He was super busted, but no one was talking about it. Like, really no one was talking about it. But I still think Jack is very strong. Still do. Yeah, let me go over S tier. I think Feng has the potential to be S+, but not really. I don't think so. He doesn't have enough bullshit to be S+. Like, he really doesn't. Not enough BS. Anna, because of the nerfs, I think is more S than S+, but still very, very strong. Raven, I think Raven is the most viable. Okay, maybe or Claudio. Raven or Claudio are the most viable in S tier that may just jump up to S+ tier. Like, they are that good. They really are that good. But I still don't think so. I still don't think so. Jin is very strong, same as Jun and Lars. Steve is also very good. Paul is very good. Xiaoyu, Shaheen. Yeah, I don't think anyone else here deserves to be in S+. Maybe Clive. Maybe. That's a hard maybe. But he got nerfed a lot. Like, he actually did get nerfed a lot over the past year. Like, forward 1+2 got nerfed. That was one of the first few nerfs he got. The down forward 1 string and heat also got nerfed, so it's worse now. I mean, he's still a good character, but full crouch, for example. The God's placement is serious. S tier, yeah, S tier is serious. Not at the below S tier though. I'm not ordering it yet, but I think he is S tier. I have to delete A+ tier. Yeah, no longer combos and stuff like that. As I said, Clive is I have to delete this tier. Why is Heihachi not S+? I don't think Heihachi has enough bullshit to be S+. I mean, Warrior Instinct is kinda a lot of bullshit, but I don't think he kinda competes with the other S+ characters in the same way. Like, he kinda doesn't. Kinda he doesn't. He's very strong, don't get me wrong. He is very good, and he's way better than the other Mishimas. Okay, maybe not Reina. They're closer. Reina and Heihachi are closer to each other. But, yeah. Let me delete this A+ tier. I don't think I can add anyone here. Definitely not. Zafina is better than Xiaoyu, 100%. Like 10 times easier to play too. But Heihachi also got nerfed because of his seat smashes. You know, the one does the wall splat anymore. So, yeah. I mean, both of them got nerfed, even Reina and Heihachi. Like, Heihachi had the potential to be here before the nerfs. I think he was. But, yeah. Okay, and now I'm gonna try to order it. I'm gonna try to order it first, and then I'm gonna start explaining why I ordered it the way I did. But this is very difficult, guys. Like, doing this tier list is so difficult in Season 3 because the power of the characters are kind of the same-ish. Like, for example, the power of these characters and these characters can be kind of seen, in my opinion. You can kind of see that they're a little bit different. But these ones, all in S+, are very hard to order. It's the same with the characters in S. Just be super biased? I always am. I'm always super biased. Okay, I think top 3 characters, let's just start with top 3 characters. Like, hello. I think Nina is 100% top 3-ish. 100%. Nina is very good. Like, severely under-nerfed. Severely under-nerfed. I don't know what they are doing. I really don't know. Victor, I don't think top 3. Top 10. Not top 3. Who else? I kind of think Lidia might still be top 3. Maybe, but I'm not quite sure. I'm still not quite sure. Because the nerfs she got, like, she still has very good mind games after everything. I like the Heaven and Earth 2 nerf the most because you can't really do down back 1+2, 1+2 again after there's a check, which is great. But yeah, it's a little bit harder. I think Nina should be here, 100%. Okay, let's put not King. I think King should be top 10-ish, a little bit more. I actually do think that someone like Dragunov or even Eddy, maybe, or some characters like that, basically. Happy's asking for a first to 5 for EWC Kazuya practice. No, people are scared of Keisuke, man. People are really scared of Keisuke. But yeah, since no one really plays Kazuya that much, they don't really have a lot of practice against it, so yeah. Eddy, you mean the character that has consistently been top 8 for 1.5 years now? Yes, Eddy. Definitely Eddy. He did get nerfed slightly. Not as much as I wanted to. His handstand 4 is still busted. But not sure. Not sure. I don't think King is top 3. I don't think so. I'm not too sure about Bryan. I'm not too sure. If I had to like really pick, it might be more towards someone like, as I said, Eddy, because I think Eddy is very good. Like, very good. He fits the meta almost perfectly. Like, almost perfectly. Like, they nerfed Lidia, but they barely nerfed Eddy. Do I think about the flank rush string characters, Alisa, Lars, and etc.? I think that those characters are very needed, because the people who don't know how to play Tekken and come from like other games, let's say, like a Shit Fighter, right? Shit Fighter 6. They need characters like that, so yeah, very good. Yeah, I don't think Bryan's top 5. But it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder now to rank. But okay, let me see the contenders, right? I think Eddy, Dragunov, even Jack is kind of a contender. Victor, I don't think so. I think someone like Bryan is more of a contender as well, or Lee, or Yoshi, or Alisa. These are the contenders. Alisa, I don't think so. But okay, let's see these ones. These ones, right? These are 7 characters that are basically close to strength in each other enough for them to contend for top 3. Like, they can contend. A lot, I don't think so anymore because of the nerfs he got. He's still very good. He is. He's still super strong. But yeah. Yeah, no one knows Alisa exists. Like, we just don't. Oh yeah, King. I forgot. King should also be kind of a contestant. No, but I think King is more top 5 or 10. I don't think top 3. This King kind of has some weaknesses. You know, he's still a very strong character, don't get me wrong. But yeah. Okay, so far let me just put characters that are like very easy to play, very simple to play, have very simple game plans, and very strong almost everything. Very strong almost everything. I think the safe choice here is gonna be Nina, Dragunov, Yoshi. Or even someone like Lee. But Lee's a little bit more iffy. I think Yoshi is a bit better because Yoshi is the most anti-meta pick ever while also having a lot of very strong meta tools at the same time. Like, he has invincibles as long as you can spin away or there's a wall behind you or both. You also have a flash, which is also very anti-meta. You have a decent punishment. Not bad punishment, right? Decent punishment. And Demon Paw, basically. That's basically also a tracking move because you can't sidestep it to the right. You can't convince me. I've tried multiple times in many games. You cannot do it. Always tracks me. But yeah, I think Yoshi most likely should be here. Yoshi, the thing is just it's gonna be a little bit more inconsistent to play, unlike Dragunov and Nina, unlike those two. So that's why I'm leaning towards maybe other characters. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, he's a specialist character. He is. Like Dragunov, you can just pick up. Nina is also kind of a specialist, but not even half as specialist as Yoshi is. But Yoshi's potential is huge. Like crazy character. Very strong. Yeah, let's just put this so far. I think Lee's better than Jack. And Jack is a little bit worse than Bryan. Let me do this actually. Something like this. I think this is a little bit more accurate for top 5. Yeah, Yoshi is now strong with gimmicks, exactly. This is fine. Alisa is a little bit too high. I think Azucena should be higher. Azucena has way too much damage and way too much BS, even though she got nerfed so much, by the way. And the crazy thing is, before her nerfs, Azucena players would tell you that, nah, she's fine. But I still think she's very strong. I think Law should be higher though. Like, Law should be higher than that. Maybe somewhere around here. Lili should be higher than Alisa as well, actually, because... No, Alisa, you can kinda deal with her, kinda. There's not like instant mix-up strings in mind games you have to deal with too much with Alisa anyway. Outside of her Chainsaw, but... You know, Chainsaw is just still... manageable sometimes. It's still manageable sometimes. Victor should be higher actually. What's Victor doing here? Somewhere around here maybe. But guys, remember that the S plus tier, they're very close in strength. This does not mean that this, let's say, I don't know, who's at the bottom. Let's say Leo's at the bottom. Let's say, right? Leo is not severely weaker than Nina. That's not what it means. They are super close in strength. This is very hard to order. The fact that I'm ordering it, it's kind of crazy to be fair, but yeah, they are very close in strength. Very close in strength. I actually think Zafina might be better than Alisa as well. Might be better than Lidia and Azucena too. Somewhere around here. Lidia should be somewhere around here. Most likely. Anyway, because Lidia still is very strong, but because of the nerfs, it's a little bit more manageable. I'll explain them a little bit later, as I already said. What makes her S plus very often play versus her? You mean Alisa? It's because Alisa doesn't really struggle when it comes to tracking. When it comes to making people duck. Maybe that's the thing that she might struggle with the most. But she has so much pressure. So much range. Good punishment. And good tools for every situation as well. And also good movement. But yeah, if you want a little bit more explanation, just wait when I start explaining characters. Okay, because I'm an AK, I'm biased towards AK, I'm gonna put AK last. Just because I'm biased. Because I don't know, like, I'm not too sure, but yeah, let's just put AK last. No, don't do that. Man, people really hate AK. Especially people from A&A really hate AK. I think the character is pretty popular there. Now, AK is not better than King. If AK was easy to play as King, yes. But he's not. He's not. Like, every other character in S Plus is severely easy to play, like easier to play than Armor King, aside from Bryan and maybe Lee. Aside from these two characters, they're also hard to play. None of them comes even close to Armor King's difficulty. Like, none of them. Really not top 5 anymore. I'm not too sure. Like, the thing is, they are very close in strength, as I already mentioned, right? So I wouldn't be too surprised if someone said that maybe Eddy is better, or Jack is better, or even Law and Victor is better. I don't think Victor is better, personally. I won't really say that. But if the list looked something like this, it would be just as viable, in my opinion. It would be just as viable. Now, AK is crazy good. That's why I said that these S plus characters are very strong in strength. Not too strong, they're close in strength with each other. They're very close. What makes AK difficult? I think with AK, it's a little bit harder to control the timing of your opponent. Your close range game is also not as strong since you don't have that down forward 2 that King has. You also don't have as easier time and like wall combo for mix-ups. Like your mix-ups are good, don't get me wrong, and you have one of the best stats in the game also. But when King mixes you up with the chain grabs, you don't have those chain grabs, or you don't. It's terrifying. It's really terrifying. And King just does an easier job with it. AK can do something similar. Don't get me wrong. That's why they're in the same tier. Guys, they're the same tier. Don't act like Armor King's here, okay? Don't act like that. They're in the same tier. But it's just... I think King is just easier to play. Way easier to play. They might have very, very similar strengths. Might, right? But the King is just so much easier to just, you know, play normally. Alright. Let me go over S+. Bryan should be lower. I considered Bryan's difficulty as well when I put him here. Same as Lee. Like, but these two characters are hard to play, as I already said. They are hard to play. But I considered it already. They're not as hard to play to, you know, really say that, oh, you know, they're so difficult. Obviously not. I would, like, let's say Bryan didn't have some of the tools that he has, and he was as difficult as his Tekken 7 version, even though he would be very strong. Then I would most likely put him, like, way below here. But he is so much easier to play. Like, his difficulty is so overrated. It's the same with Lee. I don't think Lee is that difficult. They are difficult, don't get me wrong, but they're not that difficult. We're not playing Tekken 7 anymore. Lee has back 3-3 now, and Bryan has QCB1. And forward 2 in heat. And Lee is Lee. Just look at Lee. No, man, no. Okay. I might change this as well, but let's do S. Let's do S. At the top of S tier. I think top of S tier, as I already said, Raven kinda deserves it. Claudio can kinda deserve it as well. Jun. Feng. Who else? Heihachi. Yeah, Heihachi. Even someone like Clive. Or Reina. Shaheen also is very good. Lars also. These characters are very, very good. Like, very good. They will most likely will deserve someone out of these ones to be at the top, than not. Jin is definitely better than Jun. Yeah, most likely so, right? Most likely. Like, Jin is also very good. But Jin is also way harder to play than Jun is. Like, Jun is just... Yeah, let's not talk about Jun. I should talk Jun enough. But, yeah, at the top... Okay, it's either Raven, Heihachi, or Claudio. Yeah, I have to decide between these three. I just have to decide between these three. I think if I consider Heihachi's difficulty, I would put either Raven or Claudio here. But I think Raven deserves it the most. I really think that Raven is severely underrated. I don't really know what the character lacks. I really don't know what the character lacks. Like, he has a hell sweep, a full crouch mix-up, a full crouch mid mix-up in heat that's safe, a full crouch counter launcher that's fast. He tracks really well both sides with very safe, fast options, has good mix-ups from back turn, with very safe options, very good evasive tools, very good keep out, very good wall combo, wall carry, wall damage. It's just like... The character is kind of insane. The more I think about the character, kind of insane. The only thing he lacks, I guess, is a busted heat smash that tracks both ways. Maybe, right? Also has a very good power crush. It was even more busted before the power crush got nerfed. But Raven, yeah, let's just put Raven at the top. Like, the character's kind of crazy. Claudio, Heihachi, let's just put it like this, it's fine. Claudio still is very, very good in my opinion, even though down back 1+2 got nerfed. If they change one thing, I would literally put Claudio in the middle here somewhere. Like, somewhere around here. All they have to do is remove 443. The 443 unblockable, 443 1+2, I think that's the input. They only need to remove that from the game, and suddenly Claudio drops tiers. Not tiers, okay, but a placement. He's 100% gonna drop placement. That move should not exist. Is Jun easy to play? Jun is surprisingly very difficult. Very, very difficult. Surprisingly, so damn difficult to play, bro. I have never seen a character this difficult to play. Never. Never in my life. Yeah, Claudio I think is fine here. Heihachi I think is also fine. So top 3 S tier I think is normal placement. It's not too bad. Heihachi is just... his down forward 1-2 is so damn good that it doesn't matter how hard he is to play when you can just do that. When you can just do that. Like... man, I wish Heihachi was not as brained as he is. I really wish. Okay, next, 4th place. Feng or Lars, or maybe even Jin. Maybe. So Lars is very good, has easy access to everything. Only thing he doesn't have is like a Hell Sweep-esque move. Even though he does have it, it's just too slow to use because it's too risky. It's the same problem with Jin, right? But Lars actually, in my opinion, is better than Jin. Because Jin's other lows, like down back 4 or down 2, or even the stance 1+2, is way worse as a low mix-up than any other options that Lars has as low mix-ups. Like down back 1 and down back 1-3 is super strong. Full crouch mix-up is also super strong. Okay, I'm not gonna explain things too much yet. So let me just put Feng here, I think that's fine. Lars afterwards, Reina afterwards, Jin, Jun, and then Clive. I think this is okay. Okay, so far I'll just put it like that. I'll review it later. That Lars that high is criminal. Lars is super good. Okay, this is okay. I think Clive, Anna. I think I'll put Anna a little bit above Clive, but whatever. Fahkumram is really good too. Actually, very, very strong. Where's Fahkumram? Let me actually put Fahkumram somewhere around here. I think this would be a little bit more accurate. Since they really nerfed Clive, Steve... should Steve be this low? But the thing is, Steve is super strong. But I also realized that some characters have so much more PS than Steve does. Ritz, thank you for the 7 million streak, bro. Big thank you. Miary is definitely not that bad. Definitely not. Oh yeah, Paul, bro. Paul, I think, needs to be somewhere here. Yeah, there we go. I think that's a little bit better. Paul, you never see Paul because no one likes playing this character, but very strong character. Very, very strong character. Let me actually put Fahkumram above Paul though. Okay, this is okay. S plus at the wall. Bro, Steve is kind of insane. I just, it feels bad that I have to put him low, kinda, because of how much PS other characters can have. I was in the bottom of the list. I'm gonna rank these two later. Wait, let me just put them here. I'm gonna rank them later. This is okay-ish placements for Fahkumram and Paul. That's fine. Steve, I kind of want to increase his placement, but I kind of don't at the same time. I kind of want to and I don't at the same time. Yeah, let me actually put Shaheen above Steve. Let me just do that. I think Shaheen's better. Shaheen's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. That's fine. Xiaoyu is okay here. Asuka. I think I will put Asuka and Jun in the same-ish tier. Same-ish tier. I think it's a little bit more accurate. A little bit more accurate. Xiaoyu somewhere around here as well. Leroy and Hwoarang is fine. I think... Okay, I'll put Miary a bit higher as well. Somewhere around here, there we go. Should be okay. Yeah, doing a tier list is pretty difficult. Yeah, it is very difficult. Hwoarang is good now. Yeah, Hwoarang is not as strong now. Hwoarang is actually, you know, aside from how annoying he can be, aside from that, right? The nerfs are really good for him. Yeah, this is a ranked / tournament tier list. Both of them, basically, right? Ranked matches, tournament matches. Why the hell? Why the hell? Dude, it feels so bad that I really have to put characters as strong as this, as low as this, but they're still an S tier. Like, when people will say someone is, let's say, bottom 1. Let's say someone's bottom 1, right? That bottom 1 character is gonna be at the bottom of S tier. That's the bottom 1 character. Oh, okay, let me go through this. Okay, guys, we have to maintain the agenda, so let's put Devil Jin at bottom 1. We have to maintain the agenda. No, we're not saying anything else. Because the thing is, someone has to be bottom 1. I would rather it be Devil Jin than anyone else. To be fair, I would rather it be Kaz than anyone else. But yeah, let's say it's Devil Jin. Let's say it's Devil Jin. Alright. But Miary, no way. No way. Hell no. They have too much ammo. It's fine. Keep giving them ammo. At least they play Devil Jin. Imagine giving ammo to, I don't know, Steve players. Imagine. Or even worse, we're Bear players. Even worse, bro. Nah, give ammo to Devil Jin. Please, more ammo. Bottom 1 character. Okay, let me put the Kazuya here as well. I think Kazuya is somewhere around here-ish. I think. He might be... He should be higher. I don't think so. I think Kazuya is better than Jin. I 100% think Kazuya is better than Jin. Jun as well. Yeah, I think he's better than all of the characters below. I think so. Like, the thing is, even considering how hard to play he is very hard to play, don't get me wrong, right? And he's also simple to play, you don't have too much BS. But, I think if played well, and like actually well, he is gonna be here. Like, not only here, right, but he can win against a lot of characters in general, but that's just how it is. Even someone like Claudio can win against Nina, obviously. Obviously. Why is he better than Jin? I think he is better than Jin because Jin kinda... He doesn't have Kazuya's electric. Like, his electric is way riskier. That's one, right? He doesn't have Kazuya's CD1+2, which is... CD1+2 is crazy good. It's crazy good, right? CD1+2 is super strong. That one change in Season 1 got him from, let's say, I think it was like bottom 5 character, to like, instantly to mid-tier at least. Right? At least mid-tier, if not even higher than that. But CD1+2 is a crazy move to have. And the Jin also has problems mixing up opponents sometimes. Like, when the opponent has a life lead, and the Jin player is, let's say, 50% versus 100%, it's gonna be hard for the Jin player to come back from that. you can do it if you're a very good gym player. Don't get me wrong, it's still very possible. But it's gonna be way more difficult to do comparing this to Kaz, right? Kaz just hell sweeps you. And you know, it just hell sweeps you. He has that. So that's like one of the things Kazuya also has over Jin. While Jin has some other stuff, like he has easier tracking, easier poking, easier control in general, right? Better checks, and stuff like that. But yeah, do I think Bob will be super strong? Yes, I think Bob will be super strong because Bob is gonna have a hell sweep. He's gonna have a hell sweep. And he's the DLC character with a hell sweep. You guys imagine how strong that will be. We already have one DLC character with a hell sweep, which is Heihachi. We're gonna have another one. And that hell sweep is gonna knock down Bob's one. Most likely, anyway. Most likely. Unless Bob is gonna have a stance after hell sweep, which I hope not. Bro, please knock me down. I swear, I would rather Bob knock me down than going to stance and mix me up. Oh my hello, bro. Roger's gonna have a launching hell sweep? Yeah. He also will wave dash too, yeah. You're right. Okay. Alright, let me see this. Let me see this tier list real quick. I think it's okay-ish. It can't be perfect, right? I can actually change a lot of things here, and I would still be satisfied. Like, for example, I would put Jack here instead of Bryan, or even Eddy. Something like this, and I would be like, okay, this also makes sense. I would even put something like this. Okay, that also makes sense. I wouldn't put to Victor and King above Bryan. But I'm like, yeah, okay, this also makes sense. You know, let's maintain a little bit more agenda because I like Bryan as a character more than all of these pieces of shit. So yeah, let's just do this. Let's do this better. This is way better. Okay. The top 3 is a little bit iffy, but I'm not too sure. Like, I'm really not too sure about the tops. Like, Lidia can jump to the top as easily as Yoshi is there or Dragunov is there. You don't think Heihachi is lower than S+? I was contemplating that as well. I was. But since I'm not putting someone like a Raven there either, I think Raven's severely underrated. Or even Claudio. I'm like, okay, let's just put them at the top of S instead. I don't want to oversaturate S+. There are a lot of characters there already. Like, I was even considering putting AK in the top of S. But I think AK is a little bit too good to do that. Just a little bit too good to do that. If I had to put Kuni, by the way, I mean, as I said, most likely top 10. Maybe somewhere around here. Next to Bryan. Right, somewhere around here. At the bottom of top 10 if I had to. I'm not too sure about the character at all. Like, I haven't seen enough Kunimitsu play, especially competitively. And I'm pretty sure competitive players are not gonna risk playing this character so early either, so it's a bit iffy. It was the same with Anna, by the way. Anna was not played competitively for a while, ever since she came out. It was the same. I think it took a few months for us to understand in Season 2 that Anna was actually purely busted. Right now, all I'm seeing with Kuni is somewhere along these lines of potential, but it might be better or worse. Might be better or worse. Not too sure. Okay. S plus is a very difficult tier, gonna be honest. I had a little bit easier time doing the S tier characters. A little bit easier time. Yeah, Heihachi is very strong. Guys, remember, they're S tier. Their being in the middle doesn't mean anything. They're still S tier. Please, remember this. I think it's fine. I think it's okay. What if Kuni players are as talented as the Alisa players? True. But the thing is, Arsenal will definitely play Kunimitsu if Kunimitsu is gonna be strong enough, so... Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let me try explain the characters tiers. Try explaining them. I'm not sure if I can explain why they're like top 1 and not, let's say, top 5 instead. But I'm just gonna explain why they're S+. The ordering is very difficult. I wouldn't take the ordering too seriously. I really wouldn't take the ordering too seriously. I tried, I did my best, right? I did my best, but I still wouldn't take it too seriously. But yeah, Nina has she has everything basically. So if you want close range pressure, she's one of the best characters there is when it comes to that, right? Wall pressure plus close range pressure is one of the best. Definitely one of the best. Has a lot of very good plus frames, very good mind games in all of her plus frames. Because down forward 1 to 4 exists, down forward 1 to 1+2 exists, 1 to jab 4 exists, just 1 to jab exists, side step cancels exists. Everything you need for pressure and mind games, she has it. And it's very easily accessible, right? You don't need to force yourself into a stance doing something and then do it. Very easily accessible from neutral. Also, her punishment can be very strong, especially if you wall splat with your 30 frame wall standing move, let's say. Or back 1-4 also deals a lot of damage while giving very good plus frames. Her tracking is also very strong with back to 2 even existing, even though it got nerfed, super good. Her moves in general also track really well. Her countered launching QCF1 is also very good to have while also maintaining plus frames and pressure. I already talked about her pressure. Her having a generic down forward 2, her having an orbital, her having a damn hell sweep that's also a countered launcher from full crouch. Kind of an insane character if you think about it. Like very good when it comes to almost everything. Almost everything kind of crazy. She has a good heat engager, an easy heat engager access with an 11 frame heat engager, by the way, as a punishment. Also has a QCF2. You can also use that as a mini demon paw if you feel like it. It hits, it's a heat engager. Like, she just has everything you'll ever need. Like, you will need something, she has it. It's kind of the same thing with Dragunov. The thing with Dragunov is that he doesn't have that Hell Sweep type-esque move outside of the wall. Outside of the wall, that is, right? That's one thing he might lack. Like a Hell Sweep-esque move. But he can access it through his roll. Whatever that's called. The roll, whatever. The roll into the low is his Hell Sweep type-esque move. You can actually use it in a lot of situations, even outside of the wall. But at the wall, it's very easy to do, and it's basically guaranteed. Basically, right? And the mid is also super strong. So, everything else he has. He has a good get-off-me tool where 1-1. His down forward 1 is very good. He has good frames and a follow-up countered launcher. He has very good tracking with a down forward 1 and back 2 interchangeably. Has very good moves when it comes to checking your opponent as well. With having a 12 frame down forward 4, I already mentioned down forward 1. Had decent jab strings with 1-1 and even a 1-3-2, I think, if I remember the input. So 1-3 can also be used. It's pretty damn good. Also has a good tracking low check with down 2. Aside from down matchups like, let's say, Kazuya who can launch it, down 2 is basically a busted, right? Aside from the Kazuya matchup who can launch it, I think down 2 is basically a busted move. Super strong. Back 3 also is a tracking move, especially at the wall, is very good. It's very fast and the wall splats. Super good. His heat is also super strong because his heat smash you can use in very flowcharted situations to basically stop anyone from stepping it. Or you can just use 1-1 instead and no one can do anything about that. 1-1 is like a god move, right? We all know 1-1. Okay. I'm gonna keep these a little bit short. Not too short, but a little bit short. Let's talk about Yoshi. So Yoshi, I already said this, is the most anti Tekken 8 character ever since Season 1, in my opinion, right? Season 1, he was even worse. He got nerfed a couple of times after that. Deservedly so. But he is the most, what's the word? Weird character to play against. If you play a pressure-based character. Let's say you play Nina, someone, like Dragunov even, right, against Yoshi. Dragunov I think will do a little bit better, but if you play like Nina, or pressure-esque character like even Anna, or maybe someone else, maybe even Law, like Yoshi is gonna scare you a lot. Or even if you play a mix-up based character, some mix-ups just doesn't work against this guy. So some pressure doesn't work, and some mix-ups doesn't work, just because the character exists on the screen. Right? That's all he has to do. He has to exist on the screen. The moment he presses a back 3 or back 4, which is the spins, right? Kita, take your ball. Big thank you. So yeah, the moment he presses back through or back 4, he spins away from mix-ups and pressure, while also not sacrificing too much health from it. Even though it got nerfed, it's not too much health. While also punishing you if you try something a little bit too slow, right? He also at the wall has one of the most busted wall jumps in the game, which is basically a Shoryu. It's an invincible move. It's a mid, I think on block it's plus, maybe it's 0, it's close to 0 or a little bit plus. And as I said, it's an invincible. And changes side sometimes. So you're at the wall now. I think it's the best, one of the best wall jumps in the game. No one talks about that wall jump, by the way. Super strong. Also has a flash. I didn't even mention the flash. So all of those pressure killing tools, anti-detonate. Not only that, he also has very good tools to mix you up with his flying stats. You can do that, let's say. He has very good tracking in almost everything he does. Very, very good tracking. You cannot even sidestep his safe on block forward 1+2 when using swordless. You cannot sidestep it. Right? But there's just too much with this character. Mid checks from half the screen. Keep out is super strong because you can't get close to the character. And a lot of BS like the wall unblockable after every wall combo, or even some setups in the neutral. A lot of BS, a lot of mix-ups. You're just getting mixed up constantly, getting pressured constantly while you can't pressure back. So yeah, he's a very anti-detonate character while also having a lot of good tools to, pressure the opponent and just check from even far away. Up one. I said this before as well, that I wouldn't consider the order of this too much. Like, don't take the order of this too seriously. I tried my best to order it. Like, I was like, maybe Nina is top 1. Maybe, right? But I could just as easily put, I don't know, Lee at top 1. And I'll be like, yeah, sure, that makes sense too. Like, just don't take it too seriously. But their strength is very, very strong, obviously, right? So, Lee, let's talk about Lee. Lee is one of those characters that has a lot of pressure because of something like wild running 3-4, while also being very hard to step unless you sidewalk for 2 seconds. You can't step that move otherwise. Has very good mind games with everything he does because his low frames allow him to counter hit you very, very reliably. So it's very good to have something like that. Has very good keep out, easily. Has a slide, which also becomes safe in some ranges. Super, super strong, obviously, right? While also having back 3-3, which I never think or thought they would give Lee this kind of move. Back 3-3 should not exist. It shouldn't exist. And I didn't even mention his 1+2. I didn't even mention it. Add 1+2 and his placement makes sense. If they remove, by the way, if they remove back 3-3 from Lee, the character will drop down. 100%. Deservedly drop down. That should not exist. That move should not exist. He should not have an instant mix-up from close range. Not something like this anyway. But yeah, that's Lee. Let's talk about Jack. So Jack in the previous seasons, some of you will know, had one of the best combos in the game. Best damage when it comes to that in the game. Best wall carry as well in the game. Has very good pressure, especially at the wall. Very safe lows. Very safe lows. You have to low parry this character 24/7, by the way. You have to low parry this character 24/7. If you block a single one of his lows, he's gonna keep doing them. You have to low parry, right? Also has very good mid checks with mind game-esque moves, with mid-high wall splat, let's say, or just the mid, and you're forced to duck and then get pressured again and again. It's just an insane character all around. He does have weaknesses. Obviously, right? Thankfully, he got nerfed a little bit. But a lot of characters here also have weaknesses. But that doesn't mean they're not S+. Or one of the strongest characters in the game, right? One of them. But yeah, a little bit shorter as well, as I said, that's Jack. Eddy, I've talked about Eddy so much. But I've been putting Eddy very high in the list for a long time now. And I still do. Because I don't think the nerfs he got was enough. Like, the way they nerfed Lidia, they should have nerfed Eddy as well. I don't know why they didn't. So, I've said this multiple times. Eddy's handstand 4 is busted. It's absolutely busted. Every time you block a heat down 3+4, I think that's the input, I forgot. The Claudio DP-esque move, basically. Right? The down back 1+2-esque move. It used to be the case where the 4 would check everything. Right? It used to be that case. Now you can power crush it because of the nerf, which was, you know, a great nerf. But the mind games still exist, and they're still very, very strong in all handstand situations. And handstand 4 is still super strong when you block something like wall running 3. Super strong. And that check that he does after it, has like 3 different outcomes you have to worry about. Either a follow-up, either nothing into sidestep, or either a plus frame jump that you're forced to sidestep. So, it's too much for a move that does everything. It does everything. It's too much. If it didn't have 3 follow-ups, I would be okay with it. I would be okay with it. But it has 3 follow-ups. And one of them is plus. So, yeah, I am not okay with that. Not to mention it has one of the best and easiest accessible mix-ups in the game. You can access them very, very easily. It's not too hard. You have to go into stance for them. But going into stance as Eddy isn't really that big of a deal. Not to mention, you can literally just heat smash someone and mix them up instantly. Because your heat smash is also homing and has no risk. So homing mid heat smash that's plus and goes to stance. So, I mean, the character also has great keep out. Has decent punishment that goes into his mix-ups. Has good pressure because of his transitions. And also, he has very good homing because his non-homing moves home really well, which also has a mid-high, mid-mid mix-ups that wall splat, and you have to guess, basically, right? And you have to guess that they're gonna do a homing move. If you sidestep, you're gonna get wall splatted into a spike. And I forgot to mention, he has a spike. Yeah, he has a spike. That's very easily accessible, because the moment you heat burst, you gain access to it. It's basically free. It's basically a free spike. That also goes into a flip over, into a mix-up, and it's Eddy. It's Eddy. Say hello. Law is a little bit hard to talk about because of all the nerfs he got, but I still think he's super, super strong. He still has a very strong generic down forward too, which tracks really well, which, you know, makes his keep out very strong. His pressure is still very strong with wall standing 4s, with mixing up with a lot of full crouch moves, and I still think slides are very too strong in this game. It's same with the Law and same with Shaheen. I think they're too strong in this game. They should not do what they do. Like in Heat, for example, they shouldn't loop mix-ups. They shouldn't be able to loop mix-ups because their pressure is also still very, very strong, but looping mix-ups the same way, let's say someone like Kazuya can, the characters shouldn't be able to do that while having like 10 other things at the same time. So it's a little bit rough. It's a little bit rough. Has very good mind game tools as well. Has a G-Clef, which is very, very strong in Heat and outside of Heat, right? Outside of Heat, he has another version of a G-Clef, which is also confirmable, which is also a mind game. There's a lot of stuff going on with Law that you have to worry about. There's a lot of stuff to worry about. But yeah, that's Law. Let's talk about Bryan. Bryan, I'm just gonna say that Bryan, even though he's a difficult character, he requires some timing. But when the timing doesn't come with any sort of risk, mostly, right? Just mash QCB1 on the correct timing, or you mash forward 3 because you can't backdash in this game anymore. You usually backdash forward 3 and punish it. But forward 3 is way harder to backdash now. Way, way harder. And you just don't really take risks by your timing reads. Not really. So, yeah. And having Requiem, QCF 1+2, having a very good taunt Oki, while having easy taunt options. You don't need to taunt Jet Upper, by the way. If you say the character's hard because of taunt, that's not correct. His taunt options are not that hard. I mean, they're difficult. Not that difficult. He also has an amazing homing move. He has a very, very good, what's that move called? Tracking. Yeah, tracking moves with a Heat forward 2. Because that move still tracks, by the way. They nerfed its frames, but the tracking is still there. So, super, super strong. And I think the character is bugged if you ask me. Character 1+2/2 into Heat Burst, I consider that a bug. That's a bug for me. And the character has been bugged for, I think, all of Tekken 8's lifespan, right? That shouldn't exist. That Heat Burst should not be launching you. Because even if I'm correct, let's say I know to heck roll that to the right, I still get hit sometimes. I have to pray that it works. It's a bug. The character's still bugged. Hopefully that gets fixed sooner or later, unless they don't see it as a bug. Which is a different problem. Victor. Okay, Victor has a very, very good neutral, with very good counter tools like something 1+2, or something like 1+2, for example. Very, very good counter tool, very, very strong to have. Something like his down forward 1 is very good to have as well. It has very good rush down, and it has very good range. because of his wall running 2 and wall running 1+2. And he also got added that new back 2, I think it's back 2, the new move, that covers his weak side, that also goes into stance, that also mixes you up. I think that back 2 addition really made him way stronger. Like, way stronger. He was already good, don't get me wrong. But that addition of back 2 made his normal neutral play so much better. It's insane. It's so strong. It's very good. It forces you to sidestep the other side, and even then sometimes it might track you. But aside from that, this is also a character that has one of the best wall combos in the game, if not the best one. His wall combo, when he spikes you down, goes into an EI stance and instantly mixes you up with ground hitting mid moves and ground hitting low, is not okay. The ground hitting low is a hell sweep, by the way. Ground hitting mid is 0 on block, by the way. It flips you over, heat engages you, and wall splats you as well, by the way. And they're unavoidable, because they hit grounded and also track your tech rolls. By the way, one of the best wall combos in the game. Oh yeah. Speaking of one of the best wall combos in the game, let's talk about King. King is also one of them. One of the best wall combos in the game. It doesn't give as much reward and loop ability. You can't loop it as easily as Victor can, but King is also up there. His 3-2 wall combo shouldn't exist, right? It really shouldn't exist. It really should not. Because they can just run at you until you stand up and, let's say, force you to spring kick sometimes, right? Even then you can't spring kick if they do an instant low. They can also, if you stand up, mix you up with a plus frame mid if they charge it enough, or just a wall splatting mid, or they do a plus frame high, and they can just not go into stance as well because they can choose to not do that, and I don't know, throw you, or just hit you at the ground, or just normally mix you up, or anything. Right? Anything, they can anything. One of the best wall combos in the game. His neutral is also very strong because down forward 2 still exists as a counter launcher. Even though it got nerfed because you can sidestep to the right a little bit easier, that doesn't matter as much because the King player in the neutral, when you just throw out down forward 2s, you won't randomly step it. Unless they do a flowchart, let's say they do, I don't know, 1-2 into a down forward 2. Now we can maybe step it. It was the steppable before. But down forward 2 still exists. And it's still a very strong move, a very easy move, and you can just confirm it, and you can just throw it out sometimes, and everyone's gonna get hit as well. Even pro players get hit by that. You can watch tournaments and see King players play. Down 4-1, they throw it out, not confirming it, just doing it, and they get hit. At least one nerf I would love, at least this one little nerf, is down 4-1, the second hit or normal hit, it should not be a launcher. Why is it a launcher? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? But yeah, that's King a little bit. He also has a lot of other stuff. His throws are very strong. His mix-ups with throws can be very good based on how the King player uses it. So yeah. Okay, Zafina. So Zafina, I guess, is gonna be the most weird one for some of you because no one talks about Zafina. Is that Zafina is very easy to play. That's one. Has one of the best movements in the game. That's 2. 3, her mix-ups have very skewed risk-reward, which basically what that means is that Zafina's risk is very low and reward is higher than that, let's say. Let's say higher than that. It's not outlandishly high, but it's, let's say, too high. Because the Scarecrow mix-up basically has no risk to the mid, because usually when the Scarecrow mix-up happens, you can't really interrupt it. And you can't step it because it's tracking. And you can maybe power crush through it or down jab it. That's the most you can do. The biggest risk it has is being rage guarded, I guess. No risk on the mid, right? It's plus frame mid, by the way. And the low also has no risk because if you block it, you only get 10 damage and maybe chip out of it. Not maybe. 10 damage of chip. That's it. That's all you get. And you have the low period. And the risk the low has is that it's low parryable. That's the low risk it has. While also looping mix-ups because it's a plus frame low and stays into Scarecrow. While also having another low, which is a hell sweep-esque move. So, Scarecrow is skewed towards Zafina's favor way too much. That's Scarecrow. Tarantula. That's what I mean. Tarantula. I got the stances confused. But yeah, this is Tarantula. Tarantula stance is what I was talking about. And Scarecrow, I'm going to talk about that as well. Also having it is a very skewed risk-reward. With a tracking down forward 1, which is an Azazel hand that normal hit launches you, is a mid, and also is safe. Right? Doesn't that seem busted when I literally say those words out loud? Scarecrow down forward 1 has a tracking mid normal hit launcher that's safe. Doesn't that sound busted? Okay, I'll make it even more busted. Because on Scarecrow, she also has an unseeable plus... How much plus is it? Plus 18? The low? Unseeable low. That is launch punishable, I'll give it to her. That, right? But there's also tracking in most situations. And it mixes up perfectly with down forward 1. It will mix up perfectly. So, yeah. You guys can tell me yourselves how much plus that low is. I don't remember exactly, but it's very plus. Very plus. I guess I should be thankful that the Scarecrow low doesn't go into Scarecrow itself, just so she can loop it. I should be thankful. But, yeah, that's about Zafina, more or less. Lidia, the reason Lidia is not as high as she used to be is because of some of the nerfs she got. She is still very strong with Heaven and Earth 2 still being very good. Still plus 2. It's still a Wolf Splat. It's still a mix up with 1+2. She still has down back 1+2, which is still very, very strong, but she can't abuse it as much. Right? As much. 4-4-2. 4-4-2 is 4-4-2. The 3 is too strong. Homing high, QCF4 is also too strong. But yeah, some of the things did get nerfed, but some of the things stayed the same. So yeah, this is Lidia. Lili, also one of the best sidesteps in the game. Crazy, crazy good sidestep. Obviously one of the best ones. Good mix-ups. Back turn stance is super, super strong. She also has a good checks even from mid-screen. You can do something like, I think it's QCF1, if I know the input. You can also do tracking moves, like, I think it's 3+4, just 3+4, double high. Very strong, which is also 0 or plus, I don't remember. While running 1+2, I think that's the input. The new the flipping arms from full screen that you can just do. That's also very good. They are highs, but they track really well, and they're plus. She also has a very, very good heat with the rabbit. I think that's what it's called, the jumping mix-ups. It got nerfed, but it's still there. It's still very good to have. But yeah, that's why I think she would be way higher before the nerfs. But the nerfs were pretty damn good. Even though she still has, I think, the impetus forward 1+2. Forward 1+2 is still very strong. Very, very strong. So, yeah. Now, Azucena. Azucena is a character that not a lot of people talk about, because you don't see her that much. Even though she, in my opinion, as you guys can see, S+, she is very good. Because her combos, ever since her combos got buffed, it was super strong. It's super strong, because her combos go very far. Her combos go very far without a tornado sometimes. And then you tornado into a spike, or even with a tornado, you just spike, and then flip over, or not flip over, to the other one, which, you know, weirdly flips over, or whatever. I forgot the input is, I think, full crouch low. The other one. And then you mix them up again in a stance, or just while running 3-2, or do the orbital. It's just too much. She deals a lot of damage, has a lot of very good combos. She has very good pressure, even for full screen, because wild running move and the orbital, they're steppable. But she also has a very, very strong homing move in the case of forward 4. Forward 4 is a hit confirmable forward 4-4. It's a hit confirmable mid-high that they can confirm if it hits or not. And the opponent, the defender, has to fuzzy it sometimes, right? But if you fuzzy it, you might get mixed up. Or you might block something you don't want to block. So, forward 4 is just crazy. It's just crazy move. Because forward 4 into the 3, forward 4 into the 2, forward 4 into the back turn. Too many options after it. It's too easily confirmable. It has way too much mind games behind it for a move as strong as it is. And it's also a heat engager. I think it launches as well unless they nerf it. I'm pretty sure it still launches. So, yeah. Combine all that with also a very strong heat smash, because it also tracks really well. Which also is kind of not punishable on whiff, even if you do sidestep it. Let's say a miracle happens and you sidestep it. Can't. So, yeah. Very strong. Also has safe lows. I forgot to mention that. She has a safe low. Not one. Two safe lows. So yeah, good luck. Next is Alisa. I don't think Alisa needs a lot of introduction. Right? I don't think so. Alisa, she can access, in my opinion, the problem with Alisa right now is that she can access chainsaws way too easily. Her chainsaw is the biggest problem, and she can access it way too easily. The other problem she also has is something like 441+2, if I remember correctly. Some inputs might be wrong, guys. I'm sorry, I don't play every character. But 441+2 being a almost full screen, mid-screen to full screen check, while also tracks really well, while also as a counter hit a heat engager, right? It just guarantees a heat engager. It's safe, mid-mid. It's too good, and it, you know, mix that up with tools like forward up to, let's say. Dominic, thank for the 20 streak, man. 20 million. Which is also homing high. Very little minus. Goes into chainsaw, by the way. Also a heat engager. So, Alisa's problems is, I think, tied to how easy it is for her to go into chainsaw and start mixing you up forever, right? And her chainsaw options are the biggest problem she has, as I already said, because her highs will track, obviously, right? They're also a plus. Lows will also track. Well, there's a tracking low that will obviously track. The other one sometimes tracks. Mids, some of them, like the plus frame, slow ones will not track. But there's also one that will track, which is a chainsaw back to 1, which is, I think, the best chainsaw move she has, which is, I think, severely busted. Severely. And I think in chainsaw you can also power crush, and that power crush is also tracking. I don't need to talk more about Alisa. Now, Leo. Leo has very similar strengths to combos when it comes to... Not when it comes to... I'm talking about Azucena. Azucena, when I was talking about Azucena, combos, combo length, combo damage, spikes. Leo does the same thing, right? Combos, way too strong. Goes to the combos without the tornado. Tornado spikes you, way too good. They will literally go to a wall without using a tornado from mid-screen. Like in the middle of the stage. Too good. Also, I think Leo has way too overtuned moves. They gave Leo down 1+2 into the lows, double lows, 3+4, I'm pretty sure. Should never have happened. Especially when the mid tracks really well into the home hit launcher. Especially. I think the mid also pushes back a little bit too. Should never have happened. Should never have given Leo access to a heat smash in stance. Never should have happened. Forward 4 into heat smash is one of the most toxic things in the game. It should not happen. Because you can only do one thing about that, by the way. Forward 4, when you block forward 4 and Leo, and they do a heat smash, there's only one thing you can do about it. Sidestep to the right. That's it. That's all you can do. Now you guys might think, okay, you can sidestep to the right. Now imagine there's a wall to the right. Because that happens a lot after a wall combo. You just tech roll one direction, and there's a wall in that direction, right? To your right, so you can't sidestep it. Now you literally can't do anything. There's no power crush, there's no rage jar, there's nothing. Nothing will save you. You have to block it. And guess what? There's a low mix up there too, which is also a heat move that might wall splat you. Guess what? So yeah, I don't even need to talk about Leo that much, to be fair, but he also gets like very, very easy access to heat with something like up forward 2-1, not heat, but the hard combos. That's hard combos. Like up forward 2-1 is super strong because you can just go heat burst as a combo, which I also think should never exist. Heat burst should not be execution replacement. In any case, it shouldn't. Never. It should never be the case. Leo does that. So yeah. Let's talk about Armor King now. So Armor King, I wasn't too sure about Armor King's placement, but I still decided to keep him at S+. I was like, maybe S tier, maybe higher than whatever he is right now, but I was like, you know, I like Armor King, so let me just do this. But Armor King is also one of those characters that has a lot of tools. Like, a lot of tools. His punishment is very good, with 2-1 being a 10 frame, back 1-2 is super strong because it goes in his stance. His stance is super good, by the way. His stance is one of the best. It's very, very strong stance. It's a pure mix-up, has good mind games with mids and plus lows, while also being delayable. Super, super good when it comes to Armor King stances. Obviously, Armor King stance is very, very good. Other than that, he also has good mind games with his down forward 1, having a follow-up. Has a good forward 4, which is basically a Demon Paw. Has a counter launching Demon Paw in the form of forward 2, which is also very good when it comes to frames. Has decent tracking moves, not the best, but having that new mid tracking move, I forgot to put down forward 3+4 maybe, or back 3+4. Very good to have, so you minimize risk. Sidestep 2 is one of the, okay, not one, I think it's the best move he has. Sidestep 2 is so overtuned, it's insane. It is absolutely insane how overtuned Sidestep 2 is. Super, super strong. Outside of that, he also has forward neutral 2, which is also super, super strong. But I don't think anything even comes close to how good sidestep 2 is. Sidestep 2 into while standing 4, sidestep 2 into while standing 2. While standing 2 you can sidestep, while standing 4 sometimes you can't, depending on your character, right? Sometimes you can't, depending on the range as well. So it's too good for what it does, while also having a sidestep 4, which is also a mid mix up to sidestep 2, while also being a counter launcher. The character is very strong, basically, right? Very, very strong character. Has good mix-ups because of his throw potential, just like King has throws. He has chain grabs and normal throws as well. You can do that and just mix them up with a giant swing and a 1+2 throw. It's very easy to do so, especially in Tekken 8. If they duck, you have a decent mid option with back 4, which is pretty damn good, right? If you want a counter launcher, you also can do something like down forward 2. It is risky since it's punishable, but it has a mind game to it. It's really good, basically, right? He also gets access to down back 2 wide in his heat, which is a plus on block mid-mid move. The one weakness it has is that it's parryable. Depending on your character, that might not even happen. If you play Claudio, you don't have a parry. Right? You can't do anything about it. If you play some other character like Jun or Asuka, now it becomes a launcher. Now you can launch him. So depending on your character, it might be good for you or bad for you. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's also a mix-up. And super strong, has very good plus frames as well. His heat smash is pretty damn fast while also being very plus. But it's not as overtuned as other heat smashes because you can step it sometimes. But so that's about Armor King. So yeah, that was it about S+. Damn, I talked so much. That was it about S+. I talked a lot about all of these characters. I'm gonna talk about all of them in S as well, but I'm gonna keep them a little bit shorter. I just wanted to explain the S+ ones. I think that was half the roster. Guys, Tekken 8 is kinda crazy when half the roster is an S+. Kinda crazy. I think we went towards the way of buffing characters enough to make them very high tier, while nerfing some other way overtuned characters, but making them still good enough to be considered one of the best. You know? It's kind of a weird way that the game is going. But, yeah, let's talk about S tier now. It's gonna be a little bit shorter. Just a little bit shorter. I'm not gonna go over each character for 10 minutes. So, for Raven, I think Raven's severely underrated. So much so that I was thinking that putting Raven at S+ tier wouldn't be too much of an exaggeration. So, Raven, I've said this already, I think, has everything that you'll ever need. You have good tracking. Very good tracking. Down back 2 and down forward 1 are basically tracking. So they track really well. Sometimes they're steppable, but that sometimes doesn't count. You know? So, very good tracking when it comes to that. Has good mix-up potential because of his full crouch, while also having a counter launcher from the full crouch to stop any kind of retaliation, which is super strong to have, obviously. Like, imagine someone like Kazuya wave dashing in your face, and then doing a very fast move, like let's say while staying 1+2 was doable from a wave dash, that also counter launched. Raven has that, something like that, anyway, right, with while standing 2 from the crouch dash. Very, very good, while also mixing you up with a hell sweep, mixing you up with a mid launcher as well, which is safe in heat, and mixing you up with other mids sometimes as well, depending on the risk reward the Raven chooses. Has very good mix-ups from back turn stance as well, has very good keep out. It's Raven, very good keep out, has good panic tools, has a good way to get out of situations because it's one frame parry, sometimes it will work really, really well. Has a safe low, I have to mention that, right? Safe low. Safe lows are always very strong. So, yeah, and the safe low can be used instead of a hell sweep, so you know, don't take as much risk. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. Safe low obviously has a mind game. The good players will be able to, you know, read it and stuff. Doesn't matter. It's a safe low. So, that's Raven, more or less. More or less, that's Raven. I guess the one thing he doesn't have is a good plus range move, but he doesn't need a good plus range move. It's Raven we're talking about. So, yeah. Let's talk about Claudio. So Claudio, the reason he's not S+ is because some of the nerfs. Down back 1+2 being not a normal hit launcher anymore is a big deal. So, not an S+ anymore, but still very strong. Down back 1+2 is still good because you can still high crush and counter launch with it. But, yeah, Claudio is still very, very strong. Very, very strong. Because while running 2 still exists, sidestep 4 still exists, and I've talked about this as well, that if they remove forward 3, the unblockable guard break, I think Claudio is gonna be like in a way better spot as a character, but he also has up forward too, which is very good, very good. Shaheen and placements got you fucked up. Not my fault, man. I really don't know if I can place them higher or not. It's just weird. Okay, they kind of deserve it and don't deserve it at the same time. But yeah, let's go next. Heihachi, Warrior Instinct. That's it. That already says enough for me to justify why he is there. Warrior Instinct. That's already enough. But outside of that, I'll also add something very special. Down forward 1-2. There we go. There we go. If someone says Heihachi deserves S+ tier, I would be like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay, I would get that. But yeah, he's here. Now let's talk about Feng. Feng, in my opinion, is very strong, especially in Season 3. Season 2 and the other seasons where he was good as well. But in Season 3, it's a more neutral heavy game because of all the nerfs. And Feng in the neutral is a menace. We all know that for the people who have played Tekken 7. You guys know. You guys know. Him in the neutral is very strong. And he's even better now in the neutral in Tekken 8. Because backdashes are worse, but his campo still exists. So very good, has good potential to get out of situations because of campo. I already talked about. He has a parry with shifting clouds, 2-hit parry, but it's still very good. He has a good pressure tools with minimal risk because it's 0 on block down forward 1, 0 on hit down 4. Back 4 is punishable now, but it has a mind game with a high, which is semi-conformable, by the way. So it's very delayable, so you have to, you know, it's very good. Very good. Has good mind games with full crouch mix-ups sometimes, with QCF1 being unseeable now. Has a decent mix-up potential as well because of that. So yeah, just pressures you to death. Evades you very well with campo and up forward too. Almost forgot to mention that. Feng is just really good. Very good. Very good character in the neutral. And so in the neutral, very strong. And Season 3 is a more neutral-based game. Equals good. Let's talk about Lars. Now, Lars is a character that gets access to all of his strongest things very easily. So he can access his limited entry very easily from either down back 1-3 or full crouch 1+2 super easily, or a 2-1 punish, which is a 10-frame punish, also super easily. And 2-1 I think is super strong. Super strong. 2-1 is severely underrated as a move by itself, right? It's super good, but also has a down forward 1. They gave Lars down forward 1 string. Also has a decent enough backdash, by the way, better than average backdash, which makes him able to backdash away and, let's say, arc blast something. Very common for Lars players to do that. But the biggest thing he has, in my opinion, is how messed up his options are in limited entry. His low and mid are pure mix-ups, right? And the only thing you can do about them most of the time, sometimes you can't even do that, is down jab it. And it's such an easy thing for the Lars player to predict. It's so easy because that's the only thing you can do about it, right? That's it. You can power crush the mid, I guess, in some situations. But the low is going to hit you, so you have to down jab. But they will just sidestep arc blast you. Or, I don't know, orbital you. Or, I don't know, anything, right? It's so easy for the Lars player to just mix you up. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievably easy. Also, I'm going to add another thing. Sidestep 2 exists in Heat. Still exists in Heat. How is that possible? Yeah, that's Lars. How would I nerf Lars? Well, one good step would be to nerf Sidestep 2 in Heat. That would be a great step. But yeah, let's talk about Reina. Let's talk Reina. So Reina is a character that is... Reina kind of reminds me of Jin, in a way. Because Jin is kind of a Mishima, and Reina is also kind of a Mishima. They're the same kind of Mishima, if you ask me. Jin is as much as a Mishima as Reina is. Because they have amazing options, very good checks. But the thing is, Reina is better because Reina doesn't have a semi-seeable hell sweep, unlike Jin. Reina will actually go into stance after her hell sweep and then mix you up again, while also having forward 2, while also having down to 1+2 in Heat, while also having better electrics as well than Jin, because it recovers just as much as a normal electric. Also has a down forward 1-2, which is guaranteed after forward 4, and also a heat engager, which means there's also a heat dash. Also has decent lows, not too bad when you use, I think, down back 4 with a 1+2 follow-up is very usable. it's not too bad, but her lows are her biggest weakness, and that says a lot about the character. Because her tracking is decent, her ground hitting is decent, her counter launchers are decent, combos are very strong, combo damage is very strong, execution is not that high, aside from just needing to electric. That's it, you just need to electric, right? Aside from that. And even that's not necessary, by the way. It's not necessary. Yeah, sidestep 4 is also a very good move. Very good low. Almost forgot to mention that. So, yeah. Like the thing, for example, when you want to realign with some other Mishimas, and you, let's say, wave dash or dash into electrics, you don't really need to do that as Reina. Your moves itself have a good enough tracking, or are tracking moves themselves. Let's say you use back 2, or use a standing 3. Those moves are very, very strong, especially if you use standing 3 in heat, let's say, or use some other stuff. You have a lot of options, like even forward 2 can track in some situations, because it's so damn fast and you can just, use it instantly. Alright, more or less about Reina. Now Kazuya, I feel like he's better, way better, by the way, in Season 3. I wouldn't have ranked him this high before. Even at the start of Season 3, I wouldn't have ranked him this high. But since the game is more neutral heavy, he plays way better now. Way, way better. Because neutral is what Kazuya kinda wants to play. He wants to play neutral, right? Not to mention, I feel like he has very good combos. I don't think his combos get utilized enough, but his combos are very damn good. Yeah, his tailspin is really good. Like, you can wall carry very far with him because of that, with correct combos, obviously. His damage is also decent, ever since every other combo damage got, nerfed, and he's also remained the same-ish, might even got buffed because of his combo buffs. His combos are good. His wall combo is also good, does a lot of damage, also mixes people up well, while also has an amazing potential at the wall, right? The moment Kazuya gets to the wall, you just want to... What's the word? You just don't want to play the game anymore, right? This wall game is amazing. He got nerfed a lot when there's no wall, but if there is a wall, one electric into a launch, into a wall, will instantly start mixing you up into a potential wall splatting hell sweep. Potential, right? Well, he also has CD1+2. CD1+2 is the main reason this character works, in my opinion. CD1+2, if that didn't exist, he would drop down his strength a lot. But CD1+2 is so damn strong to have. It's very good, basically. Very strong character because of that. But, yeah. Now let's talk about Jin. So Jin has some problems when it comes to coming back from losing games, like HP advantage, for example, on the opponent, right? Has some problems with that, but good Jin players will be able to, avoid that as well. Not to mention, come back from that too. Will have options for that. And the thing that is that the Jin has very, very strong options to check people, no matter what the opponent's option is as a defender. If they want to do something slow-ish, you can 2-1. 2-1 is super strong. If they want to sidestep, you just do back forward 2. Back forward 2 is fast, homing, has 2 follow-ups. High and the mid. The mid is safe, high is safe. The high has another move, and the mid as a follow-up. So it's super strong. The mid is also a counter launcher, and it's also a mini mix-up, right? Back forward 2 is super, super strong. Back forward 2-3 on block is also a mini mix-up if they go into stance. And you have to guess what the Jin player is gonna do. If you sidestep right, they might do a stance 1. If you don't sidestep right, they might do a throw. If you press, Jin is very good, basically, in the neutral, when it comes to checking, when it comes to close range, when it comes to punishing you, as well as very strong punishment. Very strong punishment with back 1-2, 2-4, 4-3-1, electric punishment if you want to. Jin is super, super good, but he's not that easy to play, like Kazuya or Reina. I mean, they're kind of the same-ish, right? They're close by with each other. Now June. This character. So June, in my opinion, is very, very strong, but because of the recent nerfs, she got way better. Way, way better. Forward 1+2 is punishable now. Finally, after 3 seasons, we can actually punish June's forward 1+2 in heat or outside of heat when it whiffs. Finally, right? The next big step will be to nerf everyone S+, obviously, and also nerf Can-Cans, because Can-Cans is one of the most busted lows in the game. But yeah, she has can-cans, she has very high damage, has very easy access to her 100% install. Very, very easy. And yeah, decent enough punishment that goes to the stats with instant mix-up. The mix-up Hell Sweep is also wall splatting. The mid is also safe. It was also a heat engager, has good tracking moves like down forward 3. It has good safe moves like safe mid-mids that mixes up with mid-highs that you can't tell apart, that you can counter at launch by sometimes. She's really good, basically. She's very, very good, and she does a lot of damage every time she gets a single bit of reward. Any little bit you get hit by, she will get rewarded by a lot usually. Not her lows though, which is her biggest weakness, because her lows aren't that scary, but they're still scary. Not that scary doesn't mean not scary. She still has a lot of good lows, because in the neutral space, -12 lows. In stance, very, very safe-ish, also -12 lows. Also, Hell Sweep, as I already mentioned, very good. If they go into stance, you have to worry about that. Low Heat Smash, also, you have to worry about that. So it's not that big of a weakness as a lot of June players will say that it is. It's really not, right? So you have to be careful. Now, Asuka. Now, Asuka, in my opinion, has a bigger weakness when it comes to lows than even June. The reason she's not as strong as she used to be is because her down 1+2 is not a Hell Sweep anymore, right? Basically not a Hell Sweep anymore with the guaranteed forward 2. So it still knocks down, but doesn't give anything guaranteed outside of the wall. Now Asuka players are more forced to use down back 3, so no looping. No looping. No looping. So yeah, other than that, she still has a wall rank 1+2, which is still, even after they nerfed it, it's severely plus. Still has a very good panic moves and defensive options. Has a very good parry, just like June does. I didn't even mention that on June. June also has that, and Asuka has the same kind of parries. So they will launch any single one of your moves if they predict it. Also has a very, very good combos. Her combos are super strong. Has very strong Heat Smash, because it also breaks the floor while also jumps, which makes it an orbital, which also makes it very hard to whip punish or even do anything about, unless you sidewalk it very, very consistently. Also can-can. That's it. So Fahkumram is a weird character, because he does have a weakness, just like big boys do, like Jack for example, that he can't really sidestep that easily, but his backdash is decent, and he has one of the best checks in the game from neutral, which is a standing 3. Standing 3 is just... it's crazy. Because standing 3, standing 3 cancel into the 4-4 if I remember correctly. And the 3-1 also has strings. And 3 itself is also very strong. Very, very strong. You just do the 3 and they have to expect you to follow up. It has the same thing, by the way, with his down forward 1. His down forward 1 has similar-ish mind games. Down forward 1-4 you have to duck. Down forward 1 also has cancels, just like the 3 does. So you have to worry about a lot. And his lows also hurt a ton. If you cannot do a good punishment on his lows, it's gonna be a crazy, crazy day for you. Let me tell you that. So yeah, be very, very careful. When he has install, he has access to a very good move. I think it's 4-3+4. The 3-hit kick that goes to the stance into instant mix-up is also very, very strong. Has very good heat moves, like up forward 3 is very, very strong. Has good tracking with, I think, back 3, homing high. Has very decent sidestep capabilities, not sidestep capabilities, but tracking capabilities when it comes to doing the, I think it's back 4 or back 3+4, the counter mid launcher, tracks one side, jet kick tracks the other side. Jet kick is also super strong to have, so yeah, that's Fahkumram, more or less. Full crouch mix-up, also decent lows, do a lot of damage, you want to duck them. Pretty easy character to play, decent reward on everything he does. No, pretty damn good. Paul is a character that I feel like, I've felt like this for so much, that if you see him once, if you see a good player play once, Paul, you'll see that, damn, this character is kind of BS. This character is kind of BS. You hear everyone saying, oh, honest character. Hard to play character. Damn, this character is kind of BS the moment you either play against a good Paul, or you watch a good Paul play. Like, he has such easy access to his mix-ups, especially in heat, right? Easy access. Has very good pressuring tools with while standing 1, 2, and down forward 1. Super strong to pressure you with those two. Also decent low access from higher ranges as well. Has that, 100% has that. And also has good moves to check your side steps with, like your QCF4 example. Very good. Also has some other moves to check you as well, depending on the side. He also uses, I think they put this up forward to the charge up move at the wall, which is also super strong and will wall splat you from mid-screen, by the way, which I still don't know why that exists. So super strong character, has very high reward on most of the things he does. And you usually do not want to duck against him, but there will be a lot of situations when you will be mixed up with either his Heat Smash or Demo Man in general, and there's gonna be an explodable wall behind you. So, good luck. Also, his Death Fist is basically safe in Heat. Right? It's basically safe pushback with -13, if I remember correctly. It's basically safe in Heat and doesn't consume all of his Heat, which is also a Heat Engager. It can also become +5. Yeah, good luck. Also a launcher. Alright. But yeah, I almost forgot. Chat reminds me. His evasive stuff. His evasive shoulder, I think, is one of the best evasive moves in the game. The -14 automatic sidestep shoulder or whatever that is. One of the best ones. It's so easy to just press that button and avoid almost everything. Very easy. Okay, Miary. Let's talk about Miary. So the thing about Miary is that she has very easy access to a check that also goes into a stats, that also goes into a mind game, and also will mix you up, right? And that, if I remember correctly, it's 4-3-1 or 4-3-2. I forgot the mid check. That is also has a mid high. That's a mini mind game that you want to duck. It's super strong, and a lot of Miary players will abuse this, but it's super good to have. Super strong, goes to a stance, will mix you up. 3-1. Yeah, it's not 4-3, 3-1. Or maybe 3, whatever, right? So super strong to have. Also has a very similar double high homing move for people who ride the sidestep. It's very good, right? It's very good. And that the 3-1 goes into a stance that goes into heat low if you have heat. Obviously that might wall splat you. That also has a good mid there that you cannot really do anything against because you're standing there, right? You're expecting the last one. Oh, and also forgot, it's safe. They can cancel it. Right? It's just safe. It does everything. It literally does everything. If you try to sidestep, they might finish it. If you try to press you, they might finish it. If you press something punishable, they will block it and punish you. It doesn't really have any counterplay. It's super good. Super good. So, now combine that with a very good down forward 2. Good jab strength is confirmable like a Mishima 112, basically. A good down forward 1. Decent enough movement. I think her backdash is not that good. Sidestep is pretty decent. And also combine that with her other stance, which is the... whatever that stance is called, the stripper stance. And you just get an instant mix-up from it. So, super strong. Super good when it comes to all of that. But she's on the lower side because she's not as easily played as everyone else. As easily. But she's still super good. It's the same with Anna. Anna might even be higher on this list, right? I might put her instead of June. Might. Or even above Jin, or even above Kaz, or even above Reina. Anna, the potential this character has, we just don't see her a lot anymore, is very strong because her stance cancels are still there. Anytime she goes into a stance and cancels it, it's like a 0 frame block. Super strong, still has full crouch mix-ups. Now they just have to think about the opponent stepping, which is crazy, right? You have to think about the 3D movement in the 3D game. Insane. But yeah, the full crouch move, still very strong. The full crouch mix-ups. Still has very good tracking moves. I think it's 1+2, if I remember correctly. Which is plus. Also guarantees stuff on counter hit. Also wall splats. Still has a +23 low, by the way. Still has a very good homing options with a lot of plus frame situations with down back 2, if I remember correctly. Still has a decent combos. Good combo damage, good mix-up potential. I mean, most of the stuff that what was strong about her, I mean, a lot of the stuff is still there. Some stuff is not there, like her G-Clive is not there anymore, which is, you know, abysmal. But a lot of stuff is still there. So yeah, that's what she's here. Clive is also one of those characters that could most likely be higher. But because of the recent nerfs, like the down forward 1 and heat nerf, that was, you know, it was supposed to be nerfed. Every option is punishable there, good nerf. Other nerfs like forward 1+2, it doesn't launch anymore and stuff like that. A lot of nerfs for Clive. So that's why he is here. But he's still super good. Down 1 is still a good low, full crouch low is still good. Down back 4 you can sometimes use as a low as well. All of that stuff you can still do. Still has a decent punishment with 2-1 and 1-2. Still can outrange you and mix you up with his stance, but yeah, that's it for Clive. Rob, hello. Xiaoyu is one of those characters that can also be utilized very, very well, but it's a very complicated and very specialist heavy character. Right? It needs a very specialist kind of person, or a specialist Xiaoyu player to utilize her well. But she has a lot of potential. She's a very, very strong character if used correctly. But because she's so complicated, that's why she is so low on the list. But if used correctly, she might be even higher. Because Xiaoyu has a lot of evasion, a lot of panic buttons, has a lot of good options in everything, has a good mix-ups, has decent punishment, not the best, but decent enough punishment, it's not too bad. And basically AOP. Basically back 1. Right? Basically sidestep 4, also super strong. Blood spray mids from Hypno stance. Yeah, super strong character still, and has a lot of mind games that will force you to stay very patient in a game where you don't want to be patient. Also a very anti-Tekken character, by the way, like Yoshi, but not like Yoshi at the same time. Alright, Shaheen, severely underrated in my opinion. I think Shaheen might even deserve a way higher spot, like some of the other characters I talked about. But I was like, okay, instead of putting Asuka that low and putting Shaheen there, I would just rather put Shaheen there. Shaheen is just not that as annoying as some other characters, right? So Shaheen, severely underrated, has very, very strong tools. Has a slide, which I already talked about in the law section, that I think is too strong, which also loops itself and has a way too good of a mix-ups. Up forward 1 is way too good and way too easily accessible for a mid that's plus, that jumps from mid-screen, is a slide mix-up. It's way too good. Has sidestep mix-ups as well. I think it's sidestep 1+2. Super strong when it comes to mix-up potential, right? Just the slide is enough for me to mention, to agree with me. Okay, his mix-up potential is pretty damn good. But he also has good checks with a very good down forward 2, very good down forward 1. Decent jab strings as well, which you can kind of delay and mind game with 1-2-1 and 1-2 and 1-2 G-Clef 4, 1-2 G-Clef 3. Both of them are very, very good. And has a lot of options, basically, right? In almost every situation. His combos are also decent. They're difficult, but decent. So, yeah. Let's continue with Steve. Steve, recently I've been calling Steve Xiaoyu players, like, but not really. Like, they're Xiaoyu players, but not really. Like, if you feel like playing Xiaoyu, but you don't want to play Xiaoyu, you play Steve. Why? Because you press a button. Let's say you press a button that goes into, what's that stance called? Lionheart. Then you mash 3. You know how Xiaoyu players press a button and then they only go into AOP? They're literally the same thing for Steve players. You press a button. Oh, Lionheart 1. Mash 3. Mash 4. And then mash another one. And then if that gets blocked, mash 3 or 4 again. If that didn't work, do it again. That's basically Steve players, most of them. Lionheart 1, sidestep with 3 or 4. Or Lionheart 1, cancel, and you're just safe. Right? Doesn't matter. What? Who cares if you don't AOP? They have to be afraid of the AOP. So, yeah, Steve is just kinda insane. Still has a guard break high. Lionheart 1 is still kinda crazy. So, it's very, very strong with how he can avoid a lot of stuff while maintaining very little frames, while having good enough rewards on all of his buttons. But he's still super good while having good range, good keep out, good counter launcher because of back 1 and even 1-1 keep out is very, very strong. It's just insane. They also gave Steve back 1+2 and back 1+2 in heat and up forward 2 in normal launcher as well. Yeah. You can call it down and punish it with delayed button. True. But I can also do the same thing with Xiaoyu's AOP. But that is true, yeah. That is true. Now let's talk about Leroy. Let's talk about Leroy. So Leroy, I still think Leroy's combo damage is way too high. His damage in general I think is way too high. That's why he's in S tier, obviously, right? S tier is very strong. Guys, remember, bottom 1 does not mean bad. Everyone in the S tier is S tier, obviously. S tier is S tier. So yeah, Leroy's combo damage is way too high. His rewards in heat is also way too high. Back 1+2 should not have gotten buffed in heat. I don't know what they were doing. It guarantees 1+2. It guarantees a wall combo. It guarantees a tornado into a spike into a 100 damage combo. He does way too much damage. Way too much. And Leroy, I think, in the neutral, he struggles somewhat. Right? He can. But the moment he gets going, he will insta-kill you. He will insta-kill you. And it might not even be an exaggeration. So it's a very, very good character when it comes to combos, combo damage. Some mix-up potential is very good as well. But you can deal with him, right? You can definitely deal with him. And it's kind of the same-ish with Hwoarang. Hwoarang is also very strong and has very good pressure options. One of the best pressure in the game as well. One of the best, anyway. Not the best, but he's up there. He is up there. Very pressure-based character. But he also can be dealt with if you know his options well, if you sidestep him well. If you force him to use down 3-4, let's say, and some other lows, he will feel a little bit more uncomfortable because of that. But other than that, he also has very strong options when it comes to plus frames, keeping up pressure, checking your counter hits, punishing you well on your whiffs, and checking your sidesteps as well, while also keeping on mixing you up constantly. It's very, very, very good. Especially when he combos you with good enough combo damage and then does a forward 4-3 at the wall. That's one of the things I really hate about this character, is that his forward 4-3 is basically guaranteed at the wall, and I really hope it wasn't. I really hope it wasn't. But the character got nerfed, deservedly so, by the way. The down back forward does not count with launch anymore, right? It doesn't. So that's super strong, and the 2-jab also doesn't count with launch anymore. Devil Jin. Guys, we all know why Devil Jin is at the bottom here. Right? We all know that. Devil Jin is bottom 1. We maintain the agenda. Because if Devil Jin is not there, someone else might be there. I don't want anyone else to be there. Devil Jin is bottom 1 character because you risk way too much with this character with Hell Sweeps. And you definitely do not have a wall standing 2 that tracks both ways. It's -12 and it's mid-normal hit launcher. You do not have that. Right? You don't have that. You also do not have an up forward 2+4, 1+2 in heat that will also save and does like 50 damage. You do not have that in heat to just mix it up with. You also do not have a +3 back 1+2, which recently got added as a mid, and it's super, super strong. You definitely do not have that. You also do not have a tracking back forward 2-3 that wall splats on normal hit. That's also a mix-up to back forward 2-1, which is also a mix-up because of -10 to the finish or not, which also tracks fully both sides. You don't have that. Right? Guys, bottom 1 character, and it's not even close. I don't think it's even close. Super, super strong. But, yeah, let me talk about the last character. Got nothing, man. Crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about Kunimitsu a little bit. Kunimitsu, I'm not too sure. I recently made the Kunimitsu speed lab vid as well. I did make it, and you guys can kind of tell what I think about the character if you watch that video. But Kunimitsu, from what I think, is most likely S+ tier, and is most likely somewhere between Bryan and Victor. Most likely. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen her play too much, or to play competitively even too much, or even at all, maybe a couple of times. But yeah, Kunimitsu is very good when it comes to low risk reward. Doesn't have that high of a reward, that high anyway, but he has a very, very, very strong options and on every single one of her stances. You can see me talking about that in my speed lab, that every single one of her stances has at least one broken option, which is super, super good, and almost one of them is 1+2, funnily enough. Almost. Pretty sure. Almost all of them is 1+2 or some sort of 1+2. I think one of them is like 2-1 or 1-2. But yeah, that's Kunimitsu. Now let's talk about theirs. Now, what do I need to talk about these two characters? The one thing I would say is that the one thing I really, really would love in this game, and I would love this game like 10 times more, is if they delete these two characters. If they delete these two characters, I would love the game so much more. I would sing praises. Even if this was Season 2 levels of Balance without bears, I would be like, damn, this is the best game ever. This is the best game ever. I would sing praises to it. Like, please. I beg, man. I beg. I swear. I swear. Clive, you guys see this Final Fantasy 16 character? You guys see it? Clive plays more Tekken than these two characters. These two characters don't play Tekken. They don't. Can't convince me either. Clive plays more Tekken. Final Fantasy 16 character, by the way. But yeah, that's about bears. That's about bears. And yeah, that's gonna be it for YouTube. Big thank you guys for watching on YouTube, and I'll see everyone later. Till then.